Hey, good morning, everyone. There's William, Harry, Fergus, Kira, and Dipper. Mo Mosey's on the other chair. In the video, the last video called Harry and Kira, I see relationships come and go. Now, I won't have them and us with the cats. If I see it, just the tone of voice to maybe one of the grey cat or Woody or whoever. But the blind cats are here and they live together with the other cats. And for the most part, it works. It works really well. Fergus, he's a great cat. So there is no them and us. But them and us do come and go. And I'm seeing it now with Air Bear. Harry doesn't always like other cats getting too close to him. I don't know why. It just, a paw comes out. Might be Dipper, might be Kira, might even be Fergus, but it happens. So yeah, I mean, Hair Bear exploded onto the scene a few months ago out of nowhere, and she's loads of fun. Harry loves having her around. We all love having her around. Morning, Barbara. And but I have noticed she's not here all of the time now. And of course, it's evening there, isn't it? Yeah, it's 3:20 in the morning here. Harry was restless. He wasn't well yesterday. And about 1 o'clock this morning, he wanted some attention. He couldn't get comfortable, so he woke me up. And that's it now. He's sitting there quietly. Here comes Dipper. Why will you leave him alone? You all right, Dipper? So yeah, he'll sit here until it's time for me to get up and go and do their breakfast. Dipper's awake now. William is awake. Harvey's still asleep. Momo is asleep. And Kira is on the move. It can be long days with this lot. I mean, my average day is about 18 hours. How many's in the house? There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Possibly one outside. There was another one on my bed. About 8 of them. Yes, 5 that you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's either 7 or 8 of them. So you can see Kira at the back of me. And then William is above her. Harvey, she's asleep. Momo is asleep. Fergus is trying to sleep. And Harry's quiet at the moment. So yeah, going back to Hair Bear. I don't know how old she was when she arrived here. But she does still come around, but she's not around the whole time now. During the winter she was in every night, and she was around all day and playing. Now she comes and goes. But where was I going with this? With the blind cats. Now they have their ups and downs. Harry, he's a little bit paws on with Kira at the moment. No, that's the light out in the kitchen. I've got some really bright lights out there. Keep forgetting. So yeah, he's a little bit paws on with Kira. But when I saw them on Wednesday when we were out, they were running and playing, and that bond between the blind cats, it's always there. So with the regular cats, maybe not with Fergus, he's an exception, but the cats come and go, the relationships and the friendships come and go. But with the blind cats, they have their good days and their bad days, but that friendship is always there. That bond is always there with them. And, there might be a break, say with Harry and Kira. And plus the fact Kira and Momo seem to be affected by the weather. They don't like the cold weather. And now it's, this is Kira. And now it's springtime. They're getting out a little bit more. And Kira started coming out for a walk, whereas she didn't before. Kira's blind. She's one of my blind cats. I'm just looking at all the times where you all are. Yes, it wasn't a spat as such. Harry, over the winter, Kira and Momo, they didn't come out. They wouldn't come out. The weather was, it was cold, damp, wet, windy, and they stayed indoors pretty much the whole of the winter. But now it's springtime, and the weather is starting to change a little. Kira started coming out. Momo has ventured out. She goes out to the driveway. Kira is coming out for a walk with us. And Kira is all paws. She is, but she's very sweet. But she gets excited, and as she gets excited, the body's moving and the paws are moving. And when her paws come out, when her paws move, her claws come out at the same time. So it's like, oh. But she doesn't mean it. She's just happy. She's a happy cat. I don't know how old she is. She was found on the street in the city, in Nicosia. And it came up on Facebook. And she was living with a group of cats, but they were on a busy road. And so a rescue group here went and picked her up. And then I went and got her from the rescue centre. So no one really knows her background, how old she is. The vet thinks about a year. One of the lucky ones. But you know, attitudes are changing. I mean, when 5 years ago, when I started this with the first two blind cats came home, I would be getting calls often. Can I help with this? Can I help with that? Because at that time, no one was really taking in blind cats. And also, blind cats had such a negative rap, special needs. You've heard me say all this before. But since the channel was started, I mean, you've seen now, they are not special needs. They special cats, as we know, but not special needs. And all that the negative narrative, I call it, I hear that less and less. Another thing I don't see so much now is that title they were given, special needs. I used to see that in comments quite a lot, but now I don't see it hardly ever. And if anybody does say it, then not horribly, but it's not a title that I've ever enjoyed because I think it was, I've said to you before about the perceptions. When you type in blind cats on Google, and again, not so much now, but it was such a negative response. Don't pick them up because if you put them down, they won't know where they are. Don't move your furniture because they could have collisions and hurt themselves. Don't let them go outside. But I'm hearing that all now less and less because you've seen, and so many other people have seen them, that they can live perfectly good lives, normal lives. So, yeah, I think attitudes are changing. I think they can hunt on their hearing. I mean, I don't know. William William disappeared one morning about a month ago. Harry, and he came in with a mouse in his mouth. Now, I don't know if he killed that mouse or if he found it and did a dipper, picked it up as, his trophy. Maybe he did kill it. I've seen them sometimes with birds. They'll go up a tree, the blind cats, after a bird. They've got no, excuse me, they've got no chance of catching it, but those instincts are still there. Harry. So yeah, they probably could. They probably could. And also, if they're hungry enough, those instincts might work well for them. I mean, this lot aren't hungry. They they get well fed. At the end of the day, there's a lady on here. She's blind, and she comments quite a lot, and it's really interesting listening to what she says. And blind, deaf, disabled, they are all cats. And everything is still there. They think like cats, act like cats, play. So why not hunt as well? Never heard Harry. He does chat. He chats away sometimes. When we're out, if it's just the two of us, and I'm never far away from him, but if he's wandered off somewhere, or say we're a few meters apart, and then he can't smell me or hear me, and he starts chatting away. I can hear this little cry, and I have to walk to him or closer to him so he can sense me again, smell me again. And voice is so important with them. And then he's happy again. Then he's like does a little shuffle, and he's happy. One piece of advice I did get at the beginning was voice is so important, and it is. I mean, I started talking. I talk to my cats all the time. I talk to all of them. Fergus loves it. So does William, Kira. I mean, out of all of them, if I call William, wherever he is in the garden, he'll come running, and he trops down, and he's all happy. But so I started talking to mine from the minute they came home, so that they could get used to my voice. I mean, that's another thing with the blind cats. I mean, these people that say, don't pick up your blind cat. If you're not prepared to put the time in, then you are going to have an animal, a cat, that doesn't know where it is. I talk to mine as soon as they come home. If they have to do quarantine, then they're in my bedroom for a couple of weeks. Now, when that 2 weeks is over, the doors are open. Now, I always do it of a morning. And when I'm cooking breakfast, I don't take them to the kitchen. I just open the bedroom door and the lounge door. The kitchen door's open anyway. And I let them come and find us. And they come running from the bedroom. I mean, bearing in mind they've only ever been in the bedroom. They don't know the layout of the house, but their smells, their senses, and their smells of the smells, it brings them into the kitchen. And I've never had a problem with new kittens coming into the kitchen at breakfast time. You might get an older cat. Say if they've gone into, by mistake, they've gone to a plate of food that, say, Fergus has had. Then breakfast is breakfast with this lot, and it's like, get out of it. But they come running in. They've got their dishes. They have breakfast, and then the new relationship begins. But then we spend time in the house. And I remember I was petrified with the furniture, because I just had visions of these little cats running in headlong into walls or furniture. But it was uncanny. Just before they get to a wall, they stop, or to the sofa. And neither they stop dead or they go round. Invariably, they would climb over. And when they got to the top of the sofa, it was like, oh, this is comfortable. And then they would sit up at the top of the sofa. When they got bored, they would gingerly find their way down. Then they would traverse the sofa. they would explore the sofa. So they got to know, and they knew where the sofa was. They would sniff around the house, so they knew where everything was. And then, of course, came the day that I left the back door open in the kitchen by mistake. And I saw two heads come around the door. And it was Harry and it was William and his brother Harry, the original Harry. And it was like, oh, what's this then? And these two heads, they popped round. And then they very slowly made their way into the garden. They were sniffing everything. It was so important. I didn't realise how important the sniffing was at that time. And that's when they made their way actually into the garden itself, and they found that rock. But it was because of the time spent with them that they got to know the house and they got to know the furniture. My bed. I mean, I bought them beds, William and his brother. They both had beds. They had microfleece blankets. It was winter. It was cold. It was a waste of time. Within hours, they'd found their way up onto my bed. And that very first night, I woke up the next morning, the pair of them were fast asleep underneath the duvet. So, hey, they're very intelligent. Yeah, oh yeah, they slept on my bed. That was the first night. I used to wake up of a morning and the pair of them would be fast asleep underneath the duvet. Two tiny little bodies. Yeah. And every blind cat I've had since then, they have their beds, pointless. They just hop out, climb up onto the bed. I mean, I was petrified that they would fall off the bed. So you know, Eunice, what it's like. Again, it was this negative. Everything with the blind cats back then was a negative. And I actually wondered at the time, have I done the right thing by taking these two blind cats in? Because I could just see doom and gloom everywhere. You got 13 cats. It's hard work, isn't it? It's a lot of fun, but it's hard work. It's a lot of pleasure as well. Before FIP came, I used to have 38 here. 10 of them were blind. A couple of them had one eye. 8 litter boxes. Wow. Yeah, 38. Unfortunately, FIP came and wiped most of them out. But you know, that 38, people get to know, don't they, Eunice? Word soon gets round that you look after cats and they start to appear. But yeah, I mean, the 38 that I had here, my mum used to live in Cyprus and then she went home and she left a dog. I'm glad you can understand me because I've often wondered or thought about this. My voice is deep, and whenever I try and speak, say Turkish here, not everybody understands me. So I've often wondered how it comes across on the video and even this live feed. So I'm glad you can understand me. What was I saying? Oh yes. So when my mum went back, she couldn't take them all, and she left me 6 cats and a dog, and I suppose with all the others, with all the stray cats and every bit, the blind cats and the disabled cats, it was about 30. It was 38, but they all got on so well. There was never any problems. I mean, I'm sure you've all seen the big breakfast that I did. That was that was what it was like most mornings. No, I'm not Greek. I'm English. Cyprus is 2 countries. It's one island, but there are 2 countries. One is Greek, one is Turkish. They've got 2 governments, 2 religions, 2 cultures. One is EU, one isn't. So I live in the north side, in the Turkish side. I've been here 18 years. I wasn't planning on 18 years. I came here. I'd been working in Africa, and when I got back from Africa, I couldn't settle back to a normal life. So my mum and dad were already living in Cyprus, and they said, "Well, why don't you come out and give it a go?" And I did. And initially, I hated the place. I had been here before, back in 2001, and I thought it was the worst place ever. But then I had an accident, and I ended up in Istanbul. I had to have major surgery on my spine. And when I got back to Cyprus, it took me another 6 months to learn how to walk again. And I don't know, something happened. I think maybe I got Africa out of my system a little bit, and I started to look at things differently. And then I fell in love with Cyprus. Morning, Kathy. I am fine now. This was 18 years ago. But I had the accident a couple of months after I arrived in Cyprus. I was literally, I leant forward one day to get a cat box out of the car, and I felt something go. And when I had the MRI scan, there was no one in Cyprus that could do that operation. And I was referred to a specialist in Istanbul. And he just he took one look at the scan, and he said, "I recommend you stay." And he said, "We can do this tomorrow." I had to have. I'm held together now with titanium plates and screws. But I've never set anything off in no scanners off going through airport security. See, all the cats have settled down now. They have this burst of, how much of my back was hurt. It was the lower section, I suppose L4, L5 area. I know they had to split the spine and then fuse it back together with these plates and bolts. It hurt. It was the simplest of things. I mean, who would have thought that leaning forward to get a cat box out of the car, you're going to do that sort of damage? But it happened, and there was no amount of manipulation and massage, exercise was going to put that bit right. So operation it was. And they are not big here or in Turkey on giving pain relief. You literally have to beg for it. And I mean, as soon as you have that operation, you're in bed maybe a few hours, and then they want you up and moving. It makes sense to get you moving, but it hurts like hell. I did do manual labour when I was younger. Will they provide? No, they don't. You have, initially, when I came out of surgery, I had a bag with a narcotic in it. I don't know which one it was. And I was moaning like mad. I said, "This isn't working. This isn't working." And they said, "It's okay. It's okay." I said, "No, it's not." Then the bag ran out. And then I realised how strong the narcotic was. But after that, they weren't big on giving any more pain relief. And it's a good thing. I can say that now, it's a good thing, because they don't want you to get I suppose they don't want you to get addicted to it, because I mean, this isn't the first back surgery I've had. I had one years ago in the UK, and I was given morphine. Wow. I mean, that was that was lovely, and they give me two lots of morphine, but they wouldn't give me any more. And then from that moment on, I had to walk, and they wanted me walking every few hours. Yeah, listen, they don't always give pain relief. I had to have, I had another operation some years ago, and they did not give pain relief. Yeah, that morphine's nice. Pain pills are addictive. I mean, there's, I think one of the worst is Solpadeine. But hey, youth does help in recovery. The older you are, the longer it takes. I walk fine, and I can. You all see me clambering over the rocks. I make it look difficult. It isn't. It's just I'm 60 now, and which is no age. But I could do with losing a bit more weight. So when I'm climbing over those rocks, it looks awkward. But I enjoy it. And I think the cats like having me up there as well. Which kitty will come if I call? Fergus is never far away. And which kitty will come? Out of all of them, it will be William. He could be at the end of the garden. He could be up on the steps, going up to the roof. He could be in the front garden. If I call him, he comes. Some of the cats will come if they hear me, but only me. If a stranger comes into the house, for whatever reason, then they panic. 65 is no age. 60 is no age. Not these days. You are what you feel. And, you know, I listen to some people and it's like they were born old. See? It's a positive attitude. There's not many people left here to come. So we're all at a good age then. When my mum lived in Cyprus, she couldn't drive, and she would walk to the end of the road and get on a bus and then go into town and walk around town. And it used to keep her fit, and there was never any problem here. There was no age is still respected, and the bus drivers, the local bus drivers, invariably they would drop her off, especially if she had some shopping, and so yeah, it kept her young, I thought. I mean, she was, how old was she? She was 79 when she left here. So yeah, in her late 70s, she was walking nearly every day. When she got back to the UK, it's completely different in the UK now. And I said to her, "Do you walk?" I said, "You get on the bus and go into town." Oh no, no, it's not safe. It's dangerous to go into town. It's dangerous on the bus. She said it's dangerous to walk. So I said, "You don't do any walking now?" She said, "No." And she actually sounded older, if that makes any sense. Attitude is everything. You know, strength gets you there. It helps, but attitude, you have the wrong attitude and it gets you nowhere. Do you all realise that with your help, the attitudes have changed towards the blind cats? Look at Harry, well, yeah, look at Harry, but William, Kira, look at all of them. No, my videos, I just took videos and I uploaded them, but it took all of you to watch those videos and then to share those videos. It's not just one person or my cats. People have to see it, they have to hear about it, and that can only come about with your help. Team effort, everyone. A 1.3 acre yard. That's huge. Stay well, David. Do you know, I actually expected, you can learn a lot from blind cats. If you're prepared to learn. If you can see with William, uh, you have to see with better eyes. it's not everybody that can look at a blind cat and say there's something there. So yeah, we can learn a lot. William, they're getting restless now, everyone. They're getting hungry. 4 o'clock and they're hungry. Now, I'll tell you what will happen now. William will start walking around scratching, and who else is here? Momo's. Well, there'll be the odd disagreement. And then when Fergus wakes up and starts, he'll come over and then he just dumps himself on me. And it's pointless trying to do anything then because they're hungry. So, William's got this other annoying habit, everyone. I had a television. It was one of these 55-inch televisions. It was lovely. And then it stopped working. And I got it to the repair shop and they said, your sensor is wet. And I'd had some problems with the ceiling in the bad weather. And I thought maybe maybe rain had dripped onto the telly and got into the sensor. And because it was a Philips television, anyway, it took a while to get repaired. Got it back, got it set up, brilliant. Now, a week later, I walked in to the lounge and William was up on the stand and he was spraying on the sensor. And that was it. It was fried, gone, finished. They couldn't repair it. And that was what that was why the sensor was wet. I can't put my TV up onto the wall. There's no, because of the layout of the lounge, salon, whatever you want to call it, I can't sit and watch a TV on the wall. So the only option I've got is a stand. But I've never replaced the television because I don't want to take another chance. Because he walks around spraying. No matter how many times I say, no, don't do it, shout, whatever. He just does it inside the house, outside the house. He's like but he must have the capacity of a camel with the amount of fluid that he gets rid of. And I've had him checked out. He's there's nothing untoward with him. It's just him marking his territory. Do I miss the television? Not really. There are times when, I mean, there is a smaller, like portable television that I've got. It's not an internet television. So I will get, there's a shop nearby that will download documentaries for me if I need it. So I'll get that put onto a stick and then just plug it into the television. To be honest, I'm so busy during the day, and with the